My father-in-law retired at 54. He drives a beat-up Toyota Corolla with a cracked dashboard and an air freshener that stopped working 3 years ago. His watch cost $9 from a street market. When I asked him how much he had saved before he quit his job, he said a number that made me grip the table. Then he said something I didn't see coming. Byron, every financial decision I ever made came down to one number: $10,000. If you truly understand what that number means at every stage of your life, you will never be broke. I smiled. I thought he was being poetic. He wasn't. That number shows up at every single critical financial turning point in your life, and almost nobody is talking about it. I'm going to walk you through all 5 because once you see this, you genuinely cannot unsee it. My name is Byron. I didn't hit financial independence by being the smartest person in the room. I got there by finally listening to someone who had already done it. Subscribe if you want the real mechanics, not the motivational fluff. Rule 1, the floor. You've heard it 100 times. Build an emergency fund. 3 to 6 months of expenses. Every financial influencer repeats it, and it is completely useless as a starting point. Here's why. The moment most people do that math, their brain calculates a number so large, it shuts down. 20,000, 30,000, might as well be $1 million. So they save nothing, zero, and stay stuck. My father-in-law told me to forget the percentage, forget the months, just get to $10,000 in cash, not invested, not locked in a retirement account, cash, sitting in a high-yield savings account doing absolutely nothing exciting. Here's what that number actually does. Below $10,000 in liquid cash, you are paying a hidden tax on being broke, and you cannot even see it happening. Your car makes a noise. You ignore it. $300 repair becomes a $2,000 engine job. Your tooth hurts. You skip the dentist. A year later, you're in an emergency room with a $4,000 bill. You buy the cheapest tires available. They wear out in 18 months instead of 4 years, costing you more over a decade than quality ones purchased once. Renters without this buffer can't cover security deposits on better apartments, staying stuck in expensive month-to-month arrangements, paying more per square foot than someone with options. Over 3 years, the cost of not having $10,000 lands between $4,000 and $7,000 in completely preventable losses. You are literally paying thousands for the privilege of being broke. My father-in-law called it the floor. Byron, you don't build a house starting with the roof. You pour the foundation first. $10,000 is the foundation. Everything else is the house. Rule 2, the car rule. This one made me genuinely uncomfortable because when he explained it, I was violating it badly. Do not spend more than $10,000 on a car until your invested assets, not your salary, your actual invested assets, exceed $100,000. When he said this, I was driving a $31,000 car financed over 5 years. My entire investment portfolio, $12,000. I had a car worth more than twice my entire financial future. He didn't lecture me, just asked one question. Byron, if your car and investment swapped values right now, which version of you builds real wealth in the next decade? I didn't need a calculator. I felt it. The gap between a $10,000 car and a $30,000 car is $20,000. Put that into an index fund at 10% annually. In 20 years, that becomes $135,000, not $20,000. $135,000. Both cars end up in the same scrapyard. The only difference is what happened to the money between those two choices. I sold my car within 6 weeks, bought a used Honda City with 70,000 miles for $7,400 cash. My wife, his daughter, thought I had lost my mind. She changed her mind when I showed her what our investments would look like in 15 years from that one decision. You are not buying a worse car. You are buying a car someone else already absorbed the depreciation on. New cars lose 20% leaving the showroom, 60% within 5 years. A $10,000 car is not a compromise. It is a financial weapon pointed directly at your future. Rule 3, the investment floor. Invest a minimum of $10,000 per year. That is $667 a month. Before you tell me that's impossible, $10,000 a year invested consistently for 25 years at the historical average market return of 10% becomes $588,000. You contributed $200,000 of your own money. The market silently added $388,000 on top while you slept. Drop to $5,000 a year instead, you end up with $367,000, which generates roughly $14,700 annually annually in retirement income. That is below the poverty line for a single person in most developed countries. The gap between $5,000 and $10,000 per year, just $250 a month, is the gap between a retirement that actually functions and one that slowly suffocates you. My father-in-law's business partner frames it this way: the first $10,000 a year is the price of a future. Below that, you're buying lottery tickets with your retirement. Above it, you're buying certainty. And if $667 a month sounds unreachable, the average car payment on a new vehicle is over $700 a month. The average person spends $300 plus on subscriptions they forgot they signed up for. The money exists in your life right now. It's just currently building someone else's wealth instead of yours. Rule 4, the spending ceiling. This one frightens high earners. It should. If your monthly spending exceeds $10,000, you need $3 million to retire comfortably. That is the 4% rule in reverse. $10,000 a month is $120,000 a year. Multiply by 25. That is the number your portfolio needs to hit before work becomes optional. I know someone, sharp guy, great career, earns well over six figures, spends around $9,000 a month. Nice home, decent cars, annual family trips, kids in good schools. Nothing outrageous, just the natural lifestyle that builds up quietly with a rising income. At $9,000 a month, he needs $2.7 million to retire. Early 40s, $300,000 saved. To close that gap by 65, he needs to invest $34,000 a year, nearly $3,000 a month on top of his $9,000 in spending. The math simply does not work. His lifestyle quietly priced him out of retirement without him ever realizing it. Here's what makes this dangerous. Nobody crosses this line on purpose. It happens in increments so small you feel nothing. Better apartment, $300 more. Car upgrade, $250 in payments. Meal delivery, $160. Kids activities, $200. Premium gym, streaming, phone plan. Each one feels reasonable alone. Together they pushed you past a threshold requiring millionaire level savings without you ever knowingly making that commitment. My father-in-law kept spending under $5,000 even when earning double that. Not because he was cheap, because he understood one truth most people never do. Every dollar of monthly spending is a soldier you must feed for the rest of your life. He wanted a lean army, not an empire. Rule 5, the stress test. This is the rule nobody teaches, and it is probably the most important one. Before any lifestyle upgrade, anything that permanently raises your monthly spending, save $10,000 at the new spending level first. Say you want to move to an apartment costing $500 more per month. Stay where you are. Transfer that $500 into a separate account every single month. If you can do that for 16 months and still hit your investment floor, you've proven two things. You can genuinely afford it, and you've built a cushion if something goes wrong in year one. If you can't do it, the upgrade was going to break your financial system. You just got the answer before it cost you anything real. This rule personally stopped me from making 3 expensive mistakes: a bigger car, a premium phone plan, a house that would have looked great on the outside and hollowed out our finances from the inside. Each felt affordable in the moment. The stress test showed me the truth. Affordable and smart are completely different words. Affordable means you can make the payment. Smart means you can make the payment and still build wealth at the exact same pace. 5 rules. 1 number. $10,000 in cash kills the poverty premium. $10,000 on a car protects your compounding years. $10,000 per year invested is the floor for a retirement that actually works. $10,000 per month in spending is the ceiling before the numbers turn impossible. $10,000 saved before any upgrade is the stress test between a smart move and a slow trap. My father-in-law is in his early 60s now, still drives that old Corolla, still wears the $9 watch. Last month, he spent 3 weeks traveling with my mother-in-law, no schedule, no check-ins, no Monday morning obligations, because nothing in his financial life requires him to be anywhere he doesn't want to be. He told me once, Byron, wealthy people don't have a complicated system. They have a simple system they never break. $10,000 is the simplest system I have ever found. Drop in the comments which of these 5 rules hit you hardest. I read every single one. And if you want to see exactly how I structure my own accounts to make these rules run automatically, that video is right here.